I went backpacking and I did a pretty crappy job at it, but my setup was awesome, so that's what we're going over in this video. If you're new here, my name's Bryce. I've been backpacking for a really long time now, but I still make tons of mistakes, as I did on this trip. Some of this stuff I've never talked about before because I've never used it before. So I'm gonna go over everything really quickly and just touch on a little more of some things that were new, and then we're gonna weigh everything up at the end and show you exactly what my pack weight was. All right, first up on the list is sleeping pad. This is the Nemo Tensor Extreme Conditions pad, and this is the 20-inch wide mummy version. So if I was going to get this again, I would definitely get the wide, but all in all, pretty good sleeping pad. Now for a pack on this trip, I used the Light AF Curve 35 liter. This is a little bit older model. They use a different type of mesh on this now, but it has no suspension in it, no stays, also no hip belt on it. So it's really, really light, and I pair that with the Light AF fanny pack. I have one pocket on the shoulder. I have a Peak Designs camera clip on here. I also carry a lot of camera gear. I'm not going to go into all that stuff. I know you guys don't care about that, but solid pack for this trip. It's also made out of the new Ultra material. The sleeping bag I used was actually a quilt by Enlighten Equipment. I've used it about, I think, 2 times now. This is a 20-degree Enigma version, so it has the sewn-in foot box. This is a really high-quality premium quilt. It has 950 fill down in it. So I think it comes in around 16 or 17 ounces, which is killer for a 20-degree bag. The tent for this trip, Outdoor Vitals 40th one-person tent. Really enjoy this tent. I find myself grabbing it out of the gear closet, or let's be honest, I have a whole gear room. But I grab this thing all the time. Pretty lightweight, really affordable, and I just really like the space inside of it. So 2 thumbs up. Gotta have your chair. So this is the Helinox Chair Zero. It's in a custom printed stuff sack here by Hilltop Packs. And man, if you're not a chair guy, you might want to be. I converted a dude on this last trip. For water bottles, I brought 2 Life Waters, 23.7 fluid ounces. My food bag is made by Light AF. It's a flat bottom bear bag. I don't think they make these anymore. Inside of that, I have a long handled titanium spoon. I have a rock sack for hanging bear bags with a line in it, and I also use a dog bone, it's called, for hanging that, made by Apex Giant. Highly recommend that over the little PCT style sticks that they make. They're just way easier to use. For trekking poles, also my tent poles, I use the Gossamer Gear LT5s. I broke one many years ago. I finally broke down and bought the replacement, so we're gonna continue testing those out. For shoes on this trip, I use the Hoka Speed Goats, my favorite all-time trail running shoe. However, I don't think I'm gonna backpack with them anymore. The toe box in them is just a little too pointy. I like to have a little bit more room for my toes when I'm like going down hills. They were really crunching my toes. It doesn't do that while I run it, but I really feel it backpacking. All right, some clothing here. Appalachian Gear Company alpaca wool hoodie. This is my mid layer. This is the first official trip that I took it on. Very, very warm mid layer. I've noticed when I wear it around town, it's just too hot. I wasn't convinced that this was a true mid layer because it's so warm. It proved to be good on this trip. Since the alpaca fur was gonna be pretty warm, I went with a little something different for a base layer. Normally I'll wear something a little bit thicker, but on this trip I just wore basically a sun hoodie by Outdoor Vitals. A merino wool polyester blend, really similar to the one I'm wearing. It's a pretty warm sun shirt. Not gonna put that into the total weight as well as some of this other stuff though, because I was wearing it on my body the whole time, so that doesn't count. The pants I wore, which I know a lot of you are gonna be coming to this video in the future looking for the pants I wore. I got them on right now. They're the RVRC GP pants, I believe they're called. Really durable, really cool looking pants. Also not weighing those because they were on my body the whole time. Something I don't have on me but I brought was a really thin pair of off-brand fleece pants. So I sleep in them. I can put them underneath my RVRCs here for a little bit more warmth at night. And I will weigh that in with the rest of the pack since I carried that. My warm layer for this trip is the Outdoor Vitals Nova UL. I really, really love this thing. It's affordable, it's not that heavy. It's only like 3 ounces heavier than my Ghost Whisperer that I've worn for years. I just really like the fit on it. If you don't want to throw down $300 on a down jacket, want something a little bit more budget friendly, I cannot recommend this enough. All I brought for rain gear was a jacket on this trip because we weren't really expecting any rain. So this is the Outdoor Vitals Tusher rain jacket. It's my new favorite jacket that I bring on every trip. My extra clothing bag, it's just a little cheap dry bag from Walmart, Outdoor Products. In that, I have a little cheap Buff off-brand. I brought an extra pair of low-cut smart wool socks. I have a little beanie by the North Face here that I've had for years. Also, dual layer nitrile gloves made by Venom. These are my wind/rain gloves. I will weigh all that stuff up together. Next up, Outdoor Vitals Loft Tech Down booties. These things were crucial because I soaked my shoes the first night, and the next morning I didn't want to put my shoes on till last minute, so I was actually walking around camp in these things and they held up. So for my cook setup, Toke's titanium 650 milliliter pot in a little Reflectix koozie that I made with a lid. Inside of that, I have a 450 milliliter cup. That's my primarily coffee mug. I have a BRS stove, really cheap stove on Amazon that works great. And just a little piece of cloth here for my pot holder so I don't burn myself. For fuel, I carry the smallest available size I can find of these butane canisters. Little fun fact, 90% of Americans are nutritionally deficient. I mean, why is it not surprising that is not surprising at all? We're aware. That's not good, people. So the Gem Bite is a whole food multivitamin supplement that I found just really easily fits into my morning routine. The best vitamins in the world are the ones that you actually take, or remember to take, which is my biggest problem. Also, the ease of ingesting in the morning is big for me. Taking a pill just isn't fun, so I actually look forward to eating this every single morning. You see that? I just grab one of these in the morning and it kind of holds me over a little bit, gets my day started, and not only that, but it makes me feel good knowing I'm giving my body what it wants. I've experimented with tons of supplements and vitamins in the past, and those aren't really in their best bioavailable form. Now, what does that mean, you ask? It means this is real. Real superfoods that fill the gaps in your nutrition with food your body actually wants. Gem is science-backed and actually really tasty, so it just sets you up for a good day on or off the trail. Right now, Gem is offering 50% off of your first month, so go to dailygem.com/Bryce and use my code Bryce at checkout to get that big discount. Water filtration. I use a Sawyer Squeeze. I keep it in a bag so that if it's cold, I can sleep with it and it won't drip all over me. I have a little cup here, which I need a new one. It's getting a little beat up, but that's my scoop, so I can scoop out water and put it into my bag without getting my hands wet. This is a 32-ounce bag from Sawyer. I have a million of these, and no, I'm not gonna buy a Canuck. Throw a rubber band around that. It goes on the outside of the pack. This is a fun one. So in this little Ziploc bag, I keep my AeroPress coffee maker. Now this comes with a whole bunch of other stuff like a tumbler, but to get it down as light as possible, I just brought, it's got the plunger, the whole system here with the cap, bring a couple coffee filters, and I can have, you know, super potent, creamy, good coffee in the morning. And I'll tell you one thing, this was probably one of my most favorite things that I had on this trip, because having real good coffee on the trail is one of my favorite things. A few things I didn't mention yet. I'll weigh these up with my bag-o clothing. So just little cheap gloves there. I did bring a saw. It's the Silky Saw F180, my favorite backpacking saw. That was nice because we had a great rip and fire. My watch is a Coros Pace. I think they're up to like the Pace 2 or 3 now. I brought a bunch of toe warmers as well. I had my wallet. I'd love to promote this little thin leather wallet, but the company went out of business, so that sucks. Also on my hip, I carried I carried a little Mora Eldris fixed blade knife just for doing little feather sticks and stuff. I love a good knife while backpacking, you know? I just want to cut some wood, whittle some sticks, and just be a real outdoorsman. Also, I carry a Bic lighter, the full-size Bic. I know a lot of people like to save every gram they can, so they bring the little ones. But you ever try lighting those with cold fingers? It sucks. Also, I pulled the safeties off of these just for real quick, easy usage. A lot of people don't know to do that, but believe it or not, I actually was a smoker for like a decade. I know it's hard to believe because now I have the lungs of a cheetah. Outdoor Vitals stretch pillow, not the most comfortable pillow in the world, but it is very light and very cheap. So my Ditty bag here, I will weigh all of this up together. Now I just have like my little cut down toothbrush. I have a little tiny medical kit. I did bring a stick of Body Glide, right there, little mini stick, which came in handy for this one. I also brought the Flextail Gear Zero Pump. This thing, man, once you use one of these, you don't want to use a pump sack or anything anymore. These are convenient. And I also got a new headlamp for this trip, one that I've been wanting to buy for literally like 5 or 6 years. It's the NU25 Ultralight headlamp from Nightcore. Really nice, but I did kill the battery. I mean, we did a little bit of night hiking. We hiked for about 3 miles in the dark, and even keeping it on like a low or a medium setting, this thing died on the second night. And I don't know how. I got to do a lot more testing on this. Also in that I'll weigh up is like an extra cap for a bottle in case one of my bottle caps break. I have an extra dry bag for emergencies as well as a bunch of fire starters, which I'll link those below. Bigfoot Bushcraft are my favorite little fire starters. Super light, really easy to use. My GPS beacon is just this old Spot Gen 3. It does all I need it to. I can only send out 2 different messages that I customized, but I'm not one to be out there texting people, so this does everything I need. And the subscriptions are affordable for this per month, so always carry that guy with me, especially soloing. Alright, so weighing everything up with the addition of a few things I didn't mention, like extra Ziploc bags, a trash compactor bag as a pack liner. My base weight came out to 12 pounds, 10.85 ounces, or 5.75 kilograms. Weighing in at the trailhead, me and my buddy both had really similar pack weights. I had the addition of about 4.5 pounds of camera gear. Also with the consumables, the food, the water, the fuel, I weighed in at 23 pounds, 4 ounces to start the trip, or 10.5 kilograms. If you're interested in seeing all this gear in action, great 4K footage, click right here. That's gonna be a fun video. This was a very interesting trip to say the least. But I don't think I did.
I'm trying my best to look out for this kid, but, you know, he can only do so much.